What do you say we go one more time? Double or nothing?
You want to spend 2 whole weeks riding in the back? You're on. Ha! Bingo! Looks like I win again. That makes a whole week where I get to ride in front.
You're grounded to the back seat for a month. That watch isn't for cheating.
Picture this. It's the 1980s. You're crammed into a minivan with your siblings, your dad's got a road atlas spread across the dashboard, and your mom's threatening to turn the car around if you don't stop fighting. Sound familiar? Today we're diving into 10 unique things that made 1980s family road trips so special. Buckle up and don't forget to call dibs on the window seat. Number 1, the iconic minivan.
To the minivans of the 80s, our family vacations were just something entirely different.
Move over, station wagons. The 1980s were the golden age of the minivan. With sliding doors and enough room for the whole family, these vehicles were practically rolling living rooms. The seats, covered in scratchy upholstery that somehow always smelled like French fries. And let's be honest, the kids stuck in the back row had the best view of everyone else's heads and the occasional flying toy when tempers flared. If you were lucky, you might even get a cup holder, but only if you called it first. Number 2, the Walkman revolution.
The only cassette player as small as a cassette case. The incredible sounding Super Walkman.
The Sony Walkman allowed kids to escape the endless dad jokes and sing-alongs with their favorite mixtapes. But sharing was mandatory, so you'd spend half the trip arguing over whether to play Michael Jackson or Bon Jovi. And let's not forget the dreaded tape unraveling. Cute dad trying to fix it with a pencil while muttering about cheap plastic junk. Number 3, car entertainment without screens.
And no iPads to keep us quiet. Just a paper map, a cooler full of sandwiches, and endless rounds of license plate games. So let's take a trip back to when vacations meant true adventure.
No tablets, no DVDs, just good old-fashioned games. I Spy, 20 Questions, and License Plate Bingo were staples of 1980s road trip entertainment. Sure, the games were fun for the first hour, but by hour 5, you'd resort to counting how many bugs splattered on the windshield. And if all else failed, you'd invent a game called Who Can Annoy Mom the Most Without Getting Grounded. And number 4, gas station pit stops.
Serving people during the day, and some of them staying open around the clock to serve people who travel at night. Service stations are everywhere. Certainly there is one in your neighborhood, too.
Every road trip has its share of pit stops. Gas stations weren't just for fuel, they were treasure troves of snacks like Big League Chew, Twinkies, and cans of Tab. The best part? Convincing Dad to splurge on a pack of garbage Pale Kids cards. And who could resist those rotating hot dogs? Actually, everyone should have resisted those hot dogs, but somehow they were still part of the adventure. Number 5, roadside attractions. The best part of a road trip? The random roadside attractions. From the world's largest ball of twine to mystery spots with gravity-defying illusions, these stops were equal parts fascinating and hilariously kitschy. Of course, Dad would always insist on a photo op, and it usually took 3 tries because someone blinked. And let's not forget the gift shops filled with overpriced snow globes and rubber tomahawks. Must-haves for every 80s. Number 6, theme park mania. For many families, the ultimate road trip destination was a theme park. Disneyland with its magical rides or Six Flags with its adrenaline-pumping roller coasters were the crown jewels of 1980s vacations. The drive there was part of the build-up, with Dad narrating every mile like a tour guide. Kids, look, another cow! Once you arrived, it was all about surviving the lines, the heat, and the inevitable meltdown when you didn't get that $20 Mickey Mouse hat. Number 7, cooler culture. Road trips meant packing a cooler full of sandwiches, sodas, and snacks. Eating at a rest stop picnic table was part of the charm. That cooler wasn't just food. It was a multi-purpose marvel. Need a bench? Cooler. Need a table? Cooler. Need to keep the soda cold for 10 hours because Dad refuses to stop at another gas station? You guessed it, cooler. And let's not forget the melted ice water that always seemed to soak your sandwiches. Number 8, the trunk full of luggage. Packing for a family vacation in the 1980s was an art form. The trunk was always overstuffed with suitcases, duffel bags, and at least one mystery bag no one admitted to packing. And if something didn't fit, no problem. Dad would bungee it to the roof rack and declare it secure, even as it flapped in the wind. Forget something important? Don't worry. You'll find a souvenir t-shirt that says, "I survived the Grand Canyon in no time." Number 9, travel without GPS. Navigating the open road in the 80s required skill, patience, and a trusty map. Getting lost wasn't a mistake. It was an adventure. Asking for directions at a gas station was a family event, with mom and dad debating whether the guy meant the second left or the immediate left. And those fold-out maps, impossible to refold. They'd end up crumbled in the glove compartment where they'd stay until the next road trip. Number 10, the backseat battles.
Cohen, don't hit your sister.
No!
Ah, the backseat. A battle where wars over my side and your side were waged. The invisible line dividing the seats was sacred, and any bench was grounds for all-out war. Mom's arm, somehow able to stretch to the back seat, was the ultimate referee. And let's not forget the universal truth. Whoever fell asleep first became the family's official pillow. Whether it was piling into a minivan or battling for control of the Walkman, road trips in the 1980s were an experience filled with charm, chaos, and unforgettable memories. What are your favorite road trip memories from the 80s? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more trips down memory lane.